What's up, iBoners? I'm back, and the video quality isn't great, but neither is life quality. Multiple bad shit happened while editing this panic attack of a video. The three worst being the apocalypse happened.
I want these trees to fall on your truck.
This is wild, Dad. You should see this.
Folks frozen over, trapped in the tundra, some for days. From Traverse City to Mackinac to Gaylord to Petoskey. Someone named Ella posting this video of a line of traffic just to get gas. Others showing streets and trees iced over. Snapping. Trying to give up.
I still haven't moved out.
Oh. Come on, bitch. Come on, bitch.
And I totaled the whip. That being said, I'm grateful for all the good things, but this time actually considering buying something from my website. I have AP4E hoodies in which all profits are donated to a late friend of mine's mental health nonprofit, which is epic.
2003. They're so nice, that boys. Young Lindu, shouty.
Emotional Boys 2001.
Emotional shouty.
Yo, 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 what up with it? I'm fresh out of bed. I literally have said like 5 words this morning. This is the kind of video schedule that I never wanted to have, where I have to like fit it in, squeeze it in, and not really like take my time with it. But this is the circumstance, damn it, and we're gonna get it done. And when it comes to the tier list, do I really need to try that hard? Not really. Especially when you're talking about shit you have no right to talk about, like snowboarding, which I'll be talking about today. Now, before you get invested in this video, if you are a snowboarder, I am a skier. Dislikes coming in by the second. People stop watching at this point. I'll be looking at the charts. The drop off's gonna be radical, but hear me out. I'm on the mountain more than anybody else that I've ever known. I put in hours, so I'm talking to people, I'm looking at boards. I worked as a manager at High Cascade for a year, and if you look at my Instagram, I don't need to justify myself, I don't think, for why I think I can talk about snowboarding. I try to be a snowboarder. I think snowboarding's a little cooler than skiing. I think I have some good takes about some of these brands, whereas others I have no takes at all. And if you're thinking like, oh, Caleb, there's like really dope powder board brands that you should talk at. I don't know anything about powder. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Michigan. I'm gonna talk about snowboard brands that I have met somebody who is a part of. I've seen somebody on it. You know, it's got to exist in my frame of mind. If I don't have any opinion at all about it, I'm not gonna talk about it. And another reason why I want to talk about snowboarding is last video, right? Coming at Eileen Gu, I'm feeling like I gotta be careful. You know, I don't want to overstep. I don't want to say anything too rude, but I am shooting for the biggest, right? He can make fun of Nyjah because, like, gifted hater, he can make fun of Nyjah because, like, what is Nyjah gonna, like, wake up in his billion-dollar LA mansion, get into his McLaren, and drive to his private skate park, and then be like, oh, man, I really hate what that guy said about me on YouTube? No, and I hope the same is for Eileen. I hope the same is for Shaun White, too, because it's real easy to go at the top, you know what I mean? Shaun White, wide stance, cornball, pipe jock, it's an easy target, but also, I can be a little bit more precise with who I'm hating on in snowboarding, because they can't really ruin my life quite like a skier can. You know, maybe I do want to work in the industry eventually in skiing, which I would love to do, and in snowboarding too. I love making videos, I love taking pictures, I love doing good work, even if I think your brand's a little corny, or if someone on your brand I didn't like, or if I had a bad experience with your brand, or if your graphics are bad, or if your boards break, or whatever. I think that's all I gotta say. I also want to mention, I gotta say this, I know you guys are starting to develop your little parasocial relationships with me, which, you know, shout out, alright? I did that with all my favorite YouTubers. It's okay to think you would be friends with me. I hope that I get to run a skiing event, or just be out skiing one day, meet some of y'all, and then you can talk to me and be like, oh, he's exactly the same. My parasocial relationship that I have on the internet makes sense.
But that being said, y'all don't know what I do. Y'all know very little about me. And you think that because I post on the internet, you know a lot about me. But I just do a lot of shit all the time, and y'all have a damn clue about it. So stop telling me I can make videos. Stop telling me that I have more time, or that I shouldn't be stressed out, or that I'm blowing it. Like,
if you want to watch my videos, you want to support me, stay here. You might have, you know, 5 videos in 1 month. You might have 6 videos in 1 week, and then you might have a 2-month break. That's just how it's gonna have to be. So I would appreciate if y'all stop acting like you know me and like, oh, are you happy? Like, oh, does you have a bad day? I am not but a man, okay? And I'm a mysterious man, you shouldn't make any assumptions. God damn it, bro. Did I double up on capita? Oh, Lord. So let's go over the tiers that I made for the snowboarding tier list. At the top is I chose the wrong sport. I look at these brands and I'm like, maybe I should have been a boarder. Right here we have strong and jibbable, and that's a good board. That's a strong hunk of wood right there. You're not gonna snap her. It's gonna be solid. Good people behind the brand, I think. So shout out to all the strong and jibbable brands. Below that we got Dope and Chill. We cool with it. Under that we got Add'll Do. We all right with it. Below that we got Corn Board. Uh-oh.
You don't want the corn board. Gets a little corny.
But there's good things, you know? There's bad things about this brand, but there's also good things about this brand. And then down here we have Worse Than Skiing, which is a little harsh, all right? I think skiing can get pretty bad. So if you're a snowboarding brand coming in worse than skiing, might have a tough year. I guess let's just get into it. I'm gonna talk a little bit more smack, a little bit more freely here because I'm not a snowboarder. I won't have as bad direct ramifications from this as I will maybe if I like shit talk J skis again. But we're gonna start off with LibTech, which makes skis, and I believe I shit talked their skis in the skier tier. LibTech I think is goofy. And they make snowboards, and they make surfboards, and they make skateboards. They make a lot of stuff. Mervyn made, baby. P&W based manufacturer, LibTech. Let's talk Travis Rice. Let's talk Skate Banana. You know, they got history. It's been around forever. And trust me, the graphics look like it. The graphics look like a boarding brand that is old and been around forever. I think the off-ramp is a step in the right direction. Shout out to my friends who helped make the off-ramp. I think LibTech does leave a little bit to be desired in some places. You know, it's a lot of like all mountain powder boards, like targeting older men, which is like, that's totally fine, right? The 30-plus-year-old community is much more for LibTech than the younger, but thankfully they have a sister company, Canoe, which we'll get to down the road, that I think does appeal a little bit more hip, but still, you know, Mervyn, their hipness isn't their strong suit, I would say. And I'm gonna put LibTech in Dope and Chill. Now, I'm a skier. I don't know the quality of these boards from personal experience. I don't know how they ride from personal experience. I know LibTech, they got the Magna traction. They got, you know, pretty solid boards that do not break, especially being as they're made in the US. I think all boards, from my understanding, that are made in the US are pretty solid, except for maybe like some homemade shitty companies. So it's a damn shame that I gotta preface this, but once again, y'all, I'm a skier and this is a YouTube video. This is a tier list. I can feel these old men's fucking palms sweating. They're itching. They just want to comment mean things about me because I'm hating on fucking whatever. Yo, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. These are jokes. This is funny. It's just because you've been on your Skate Banana for 7 years straight. It's fucking blown the fuck out. And you do a nose press on a flat box and think Lucas Magoon. I'm sorry. I'm not having it. Arbor, alright? Primarily a longboard brand and a snowboard brand. Which will automatically put you in Worse Than Skiing. And, you know, their team is developing still. Their snowboards seem solid. They seem well built. They look like pieces of wood, which is really annoying. I think wood grain is like a bad design choice when it comes to skis and snowboards for the most part. And Arbor is, you know, primary guilty #1 suspect when it comes to wood grain boards. All around, from the skate decks, longboard decks, to the snowboard decks. You're going to see a lot of wood.
Their wood's probably solid. They probably got some good, strong, sturdy, hard wood, but their vibes are a little off.
They came to High Cascade when I worked there, and I need to mention this for all these brands. I should talk about if they came to High Cascade when I was a manager there, and I interacted with their managers and their team or whatever. And Arbor did, and they were nice people. But it was a small team, and their boards look kind of silly, so I'm sorry.
You're gonna be Worse Than Skiing for now. Maybe I'll move you up the corn board later, but
it's a tough vibe you're pulling there. And I think if you have a good staff, that leads to a good company. And I think Burton kind of has a good staff. People might say, people want me to either put Burton in Worse Than Skiing or in I chose the wrong sport. And I'm going to disappoint you, and I think I'm going to put it behind LibTech in Dope and Chill. Now, you might think Burton does so much good. Burton does a lot of bad too. If you're the biggest corporate entity in a popular snow sport that's like now growing, more than ever. That's why I feel like I can't be making these YouTube videos, bro. I'll be spreading misinformation. Snowboarding was the biggest in 2008, according to Google. I think Burton's been doing a good job with their marketing recently, especially towards minorities skiing. Take a hint here. Burton's doing it, and they're being very successful, and they're selling a lot of fucking boards, right? Think about the money. Don't think about the cultural significance and impact you have when you diversify a sport. Think about the money. Come on, skiing. Let's diversify. Kind of a heavy topic just to graze over in a tier list video, but let me know what y'all think. Am I cooking? Am I not? I think this shit should be for everybody, and it low-key doesn't really look like it's for everybody when the whole hill and the whole ads and everything is white. And I ain't gonna lie, I got some mean looking old white dudes at my hill, man. They don't seem like they got open arm.
Anyway, I'm rambling again.
Burton's cool. I have a lot of friends in Michigan who ride for Burton. Burton has a big presence in the Midwest, and it's a good presence. Jake Burton, he has a parade at my hill. Jake seemed like a great guy, Michigan legend. So you gotta put, you know, Burton, even if you want me to put it lower, I think it's gotta go high for me, just because personal experience. When they come to High Cascade, I will say they leave a little bit to be desired. They're the team that comes and makes sure like all the events and whatever goes well, like the marketing team that they bring does a super sick job, but their athlete team will get like a super big mansion Airbnb and pretty much just snowboard the whole week and come to camp maybe twice. And if they do come to camp, it's usually for the skate park and they're not interacting with kids, which I think is lame and cringe. If you're gonna come to High Cascade and be gifted like the space and the opportunity to be an example to a fuck ton of children, you should take advantage of it. I think you should talk. I'm stuffed up. I think you should take advantage of it. That's what I think.
And there's a lot of Burton guys that come for Burton Week and are advertised as coming to Burton Week for High Cascade, but the kids literally don't see the whole time. But one of those people who you will see is Zeb.
We didn't have much to talk about at the time, but he was a really good guy, and I will say he's really, really sick with the kids. He's always out, hanging out with the kids, showing love, doing flips on the ground for no reason, skating barefoot.
Crazy dude, the Zeb guy.
Yeah, Burton, I think, is dope and chill. Did I say enough? I think their binding thing that they have going on, where they like kind of, they're gatekeeping their binding technology for the channel lock system. I think that's kind of goofy. You know, we don't really need to be doing that. I think snowboarding is pretty cool because of how much more accessible it is than skiing. You know, you can get a snowboard setup for probably a good half price of a skiing setup. If I want to get a good skiing setup that I can ski my best on, I'm gonna have to drop like a thou wow. Cheap boots, cheap board, cheap bindings, it'll get the job done, and it'll be, it's a better hobby, it's a better culture. You know, I'm hating on skiing again a little bit here, but dinosaurs will die. Core head supreme. Shout out to Jeff Holst. Yes, there's a lot of cool guys that ride for DWD. Matt Dunn, the guy who builds Pine Knobs Park, he's been nothing but nice to me. He rides a DWD. The core head special. Shower once every 3 days snowboarder special. You gotta love a dinosaur will die. Now, I think their boards are made overseas somewhere, and they don't seem the best in quality, but the Wizard Stick has a really cool shape. They support a lot of cool borders. They make cool graphics. They support street snowboarding, and street whatever sport is what I support the most, because that's art, right? You gotta it's videography. You gotta see something, put it on film, and edit it and present it in a way that's impactful, and that's art. And DWD supports art, and thus I think I'm gonna put DWD, I think I'm gonna put them in the top of Dope and Chill. Dinosaurs Will Die. I think it's a good brand. You know, they could be strong and jibbable, but I'm trying to reserve that for the best of brands. Now we have GNU, all right? Flip that U, put it back one. We got Gun, straight shooters, all right? You're gonna have a basic graphic. It's gonna be a little trendier, really back and forth Bailey over at GNU. And I think it's a little bit better than Liptech, but it's the same shit. It's Mervin made, it's Magna Traction. Boards are like more traditional, right? They're like more basic camber snowboards that you do tricks on, and I got respect for that. The thing about GNU and Liptech is I do think there is like a sense of complacency. I don't think they're pushing many boundaries. I think their vibe and brand image has been the same for you know, a good like maybe even 10 plus years now. Like, look at a GNU board 10 years ago, it's gonna be light blue still, you know what I mean? You look at a Liptech board, I think it's gonna be the same artist as all the Liptech graphics. I'm gonna put them just one above Liptech. I think Dope and Chill is going to be stacked here because these are all respectable brands, but I don't think they're strong and jibbable. White space. I mean, let's be honest here. In snowboarding, I'm a skier, right? So tell me if I'm wrong here. But in snowboarding, Shaun White is everybody's favorite snowboarder. He represented the sport well. You know, Mountain Dew, baby. That was so funny. Core snowboarding, street snowboarding, POW snowboarding, vert skating. I mean, he's just like the coolest boarder ever to live.
What's up? We're here at the Chelsea Pier Skate Park in New York City, and I ran into my friend Mark McMorris here, so we're having a little session.
Fashion-wise, they don't play. When they step out, they gon' slay. I'm talking tight jeans, good hygiene. Motherfuckers stay fully every day. Yeah, fuck with them, you better run off. No skydive, it's gon' jump off. No pun intended. Hoes offended, cause they see we fly then flight attendants. Do a hair flip, then I dip. In a strip club, throwing tips.
And everybody backs him and his swag, and he hasn't become this like this corporate celebrity cash grab that has a team that makes all of his decisions for him. There's a joke about the athlete team to be made here, saying that it's a white space because snowboarders are usually white, but there's no team page on the website. So, white space I think is worse than skiing. Now, I get it, you know, let's make some more money, let's bring some more money into snowboarding, and I'm sure Shaun White is going to do a better job of supporting snowboarding events more than like a corporate conglomerate that's publicly trading. Like, I bet Shaun White can make better decisions than them. That being said, their boards look weird. Their boards don't really look that weird. They're shaped a little funky. They're just compy, stiff looking, copycat, simple snowboards, and I rock with the simple graphics, but they just need to be more original. But check this out right here. We got a Montclair collaboration. Cop the board. What's that gonna run you? Quick 1600.
Hey, Alex Hall, man. You should hop on the Cleasy snowboard in Montclair.
And their vibe is just all off. This is not the snowboarding vibe I want. And Salomon, I don't think they match my snowboarding vibe really either. It's pretty compy. You know, the Huck knife, that's a classic comp board. If you go to a USASA, there's gonna be a lot of Huck knives on the field. But that being said, it's a good snowboard. You know, they sponsor my friend Goop. That's somebody I know that I like a lot. They sponsor a lot of people. Salomon's came out with a lot of good street videos. They got a lot of good street riders. They got a lot of good comp riders. They got a lot of good POW riders. They got a lot of good all riders. All right, I think Salomon's a good, solid brand. You know, birthed in skiing, made an attempt to get into snowboarding, and is low-key doing a better job of making cool graphics, sponsoring cool people, being involved in cool projects on the snowboarding side than the skiing side. But I hope the Salomon, you know, new thing with Gavin and Sam Ortlieb, I hope that goes better for skiers. But Salomon snowboards, you can disagree with me. You can disagree with me, but just from the people I see that come to Salomon Week at High Cascade, they're more with the kids and other brands, and even though they might not provide as much in the terms of events as like a Burton or a bigger brand, they do a lot, and to me, Salomon's are strong and jibbable. I can get some hate for that. They're pretty big, they're pretty corporate. Let me know what you think. I back Salomon. Kemper's a corn board. You hop on a Kemper, you're hopping on a corn board, but it's a better corn board than a lot of them. You know, it could go to Addle-Do maybe.
I don't know their whole vibe. I've met one person who's ride for Kemper in their life. They were a nice guy. They said their boards are good. I don't really know. It's got a lot of pink, blue, yellow, green.
Public, named after where nerd loser skiers are afraid to go. This is like a little Midwest thing, you know, Joe Sexton, Minnesota guy. Public's vibe has moved around a lot from what I've seen. It seemed like when they first came out, a lot of the cool core head, nose press, flat bar all day guys, they were hopping on the Publics, but now I see some dads on the Publics. I see older heads on the Publics and less young people on the Publics. But that being said, I like a Public. I think they're a good board. I think their graphics are simple, and I think simplicity is a powerful thing that a lot of these brands could benefit from. Do less. Stop trying to do so much.
This logo I think is good. They support street snowboarders. They pay people that I think deserve to be paid.
And I think Public is behind Salomon, strong and jibbable. Information Garage. Do y'all know anything about Information Garage? If you don't live in Salt Lake City and are a frequent Milo shopper, I doubt you know anything about Information Garage. I don't know who runs it. I watched him do a live once, and he seems like a nice guy. It seems like a very snowboard-centric brand. I'm stuffed up here, fellas. If I sound a little more nasally than normal, which has got to be really nasally, my dogs make me want to myself just bark for 30 minutes straight at this fucking plow guy. Cooper Whittier, one of the favorites. I think everybody's favorite. Kind of the golden boy of street snowboarding right now. He's tall. He's handsome. He's got a lot going for him. He does the best backlift. He gets the best tricks. Dustbox is up. Dustbox is #1, and they've just been building and capitalizing more and more on their aura. And Cooper Whittier, making himself pro for Information Garage, I think is attempting to do this even more, but I think the rollout could have been better. I think it was a little too subtle, a little, you know, too little people talking about it, but maybe a lot of people in snowboarding were talking about it. I don't really know. Overall though, if you're gonna make Cooper Whittier pro, I'm gonna put you in strong and jibbable right away, because one of these other brands, one of these too, right? They didn't make Cooper Whittier pro, and they should have. He's gonna get the best street clips for at least the next 5 years. Maybe not the best street clips, but like some of them. In the Dustbox videos will get the best ones probably, and those are the most popular ones, so I don't know what these other brands were doing, but he's pro for Information Garage now, and I wish him the best. Yes. What's this? Formerly known as Lobster Snowboard. I don't know much about these guys. I know that they're in collaboration with, is it Yes in Academy? Is it Yes in...
Because Battalion,
Where's Rome? Where's Rome? Whatever, right? I don't know. I know more than the average skier about snowboarding, that's for sure. Give me some credit. Lobster, they have Fridge. They have, that's about it. That's a corn board, bro. You had the name Lobster, you went with Yes. Yes is an improvement, but Lobster was pretty bad. Their graphics looked always a little bad to me. It seems like they just have like, they're like social media marketers, you know? They know what's gonna sell their boards, and it's not gonna be street videos. Those are already locked down by a lot of other brands. Get Fridge, one of the most impactful pros right now in the comp circuit, and post Instagram reels. That's what we're gonna do to sell some boards. Nitro could be related, I don't know. Nitro's kind of got a weird vibe. Pretty comp swag, pretty like corporate top sheet, bottom sheet swag, which I haven't been talking about graphics recently, but I guess I'll just go over it real quick.
Good graphic. Some good graphics, some bad graphics. A lot of bad graphics, some of the best graphics. Consistently okay. Some of the best graphics, some bad graphics. And then bad. Those are my graphics takes.
And I'm gonna put Nitro in the At'll Do because they sponsor people I know. They seem to have more of an active hand in supporting snowboarders than maybe a Lobster or a Kemper do. I don't really hate Nitro. I don't really love Nitro. At'll Do, is that fine? What do all the snowboarders think? Let me know in the comments. Jones. These are good boards, right? These are like Colorado man, hardworking man boards. I'll put them in the bottom of At'll Do. I don't know shit about Jones. K2. Boss man, Dusty Miller, the boss of my park crew, he rides a K2, he gets a K2 for free, which automatically bumps K2 pretty high up. K2, of course, skiing first, and then they broke into other snow sports, and they kind of have an iron grip on skiing, and I don't think they have as good of an image in skiing as they do in snowboard, and they support some of the best guys. Jake Kuzik, that's one of my favorites. Give that guy a pro model? Fuck yeah. Let's go K2. I'm putting him in the top of strong and jibbable. Is that okay? Can I do that? And can I put Forum and I chose the wrong sport? Can I do that? I mean, I'm not talking new Forum. You know, shout out to everybody trying to get new Forum back and poppin', but your brand design, everything that you went into it was wrong. The old Forum, I think, was perfect. This is classic nostalgia boarding. We gotta watch the classics. Watch a classic snowboarding video with us. What I want to see in those classic snowboarding videos, the nostalgia personified, is Forum, and it's in the old Forum snowboard. It's a damn shame they fell off, but I'm gonna show Forum love, okay? OG core Forum love. Will that give me some snowboarder respect? I hope so. Rome SDS. I got a lot of friends who ride for Rome, okay? I got a lot of friends.
You know, do you know that I know famous snowboarders that ride for these brands? So I have to talk about it or fucking get them over talking about it.
But Rome supported our cat driver for a while at Boyne, and he's one of my favorite snowboarders ever. Lucas Patrick, he has great style. Thank you for everything you've done for me, Lucas. And he rode a Rome, and I thought Rome was really cool for that. I have a spray skier sticker on my car, which Rome made for a while, and I remember seeing it, and when I was 13, I was like, man, why do the snowboarders want to spray the skiers? And now I'm like, fuck yeah, spray the skiers, bro. I'm trying to remake that sticker, Loki. Expect a spray skiers sort of sticker soon. But their boards are going to break a little bit. They're going to be a little cheaper, you know, cheap board, basic graphics. Sometimes their graphics are going to be a hit. Actually, I don't think so. I don't think a Rome graphic's ever going to be a hit. I think it's either going to be like, huh, like that's a pretty good graphic, or like that's just boring. I think they play it a little too safe sometimes in terms of their graphics. Oh, they're making strides to get a lot of new cool young snowboarders on Romes, doing cool shit for Rome, and I hope that subsequently they make a comeback in the youth. But shout out Rome, dude. I'm gonna put Rome bottom of strong and jibbable, and their sister Battalion is definitely an At'll Do. Like, even though they're probably the same, and they might support a lot of this, like, very similar riders, very similar vibes. I don't know as much about Battalion. I know a lot of girl riders that ride for Battalion, which is super sick. Ladies in snowboarding, they're definitely a couple steps ahead of the skiers, I think, as far as swag. And Jill Perkins, I'm a Jill Perkins fan. Battalion supporting the ladies, I think that's dope. I think their graphics can be good sometimes, but they have like a weird camber thing, don't they? That's what everybody says. They say they got a weird camber board profile thing, and the boards don't feel good. So let me know what you think about the feel about the Battalions. I'm gonna put them in At'll Do. Academy, I have something to say about Academy. When I heard there was a brand called Academy Snowboards, I was like, oh, let's fucking go. This is gonna be the sickest brand. Snowboarders, counterculture. I don't know if snowboarding can be considered counterculture as much as skating can, but like ideally, right, they are kind of similar. Academy would be really sick. Like, oh, Academy kids and snowboarding, that's not very sick. Let's make an Academy snowboard company and have it be really street core riders, and they'll be like, yo, I'm on the Academy. But no, they actually just personify Academy snowboarding, which is gonna put them in Cornboard, I think above Kemper, because I know people who have been sponsored by Academy who are really cool, really nice, and really good at snowboarding. But Academy's kind of got a weird vibe. They're copying Palace's logo. I mean, they're not copying Palace's logo, like a triangle that looks like this. This has probably been a logo for 5 billion brands. But like, you know, one more, like, let's do something different. Dope. I forgot what they stand for. Like, it's some, like, silly thing. It's like a Canadian, primarily based snowboarding brand. I met somebody on a Dope, and they talked to me extensively about Dope. And by the end of the lift ride, I was like, okay, they do some cool things. But there's still gonna be an addle-do. I don't know enough about Dope. I watched one of their videos. I was like, this is a pretty good video. Shout out to Canada. Love Canada. Signal. That's a cheap board. My friends used to get Signals and be like, yo, this board was $200. Let's go. You gotta respect that. I don't know shit about Signal. I know that their graphics aren't that bad, dude. And for that, I'm gonna put them with Dope. Especially because they're the same aspect ratio for some reason. All of these came in square. These came in sideways. Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. Nikki G in the cut. Praise the Lord.
Whoa, Nikki!
Slash? By Gigi. It used to just be Slash, but now it's by Gigi. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I've seen these boards though, and I've looked at them and I've been like, I mean, this logo. Let's look at this logo. You think they made this logo and they're like, that's the one. That's the one. That's that contemporary European swag we're looking for. I don't think it looks very good. I'm sorry about that. Never summer, always winter. Never summer. A lot of people, they got some words to say about Never Summer. Corny is what they're gonna say. Say Colorado snowboard brand. They're gonna say bad graphic. They're gonna say bad logo. Take a gander at this logo, and you might think to yourself, bad logo. And you would be right. It's the thing about Never Summer. They're actually supporting their riders, dude. Sam Klein and pretty much everybody that I've met who has been affiliated with Never Summer is like, Never Summer's really sick.
For that, Never Summer's gonna get a bump up. One of my best friends rides their boards, they're gonna get a bump up for that. And then when I look at his graphics and he's like, yo, is this graphic good? I'm like, no, they're still doing bad graphics.
He showed me one graphic this year. I was like, that looks like AI art. That looks literally like AI art. I wonder if they're actually using AI art over at Never Summer. So, dude, call me crazy. Top of that'll do. Top of that'll do for Never Summer. I'm sick of the Never Summer hate, bro. I don't know.
Is this graphic good? I'm like, no,
I don't know who they need to ask. They have cool riders on their team. Ask one of your cool riders how to make a cool board graphic. Just do one every year for all your pros to ride, and then you can sell the rest of Colorado, guys. That's what I say. Ride's my number one. And I've been influenced to think this, right? I had my best friends, they were really big Ride guys, and they made sure I knew every reason why Ride was cool. Ride's really cool. Ride has some of the coolest riders. They have some of the coolest graphics. Okay, let's talk board graph. And I haven't seen many of the new Ride board graphics, and maybe they're worse this year, but consistently, if I see a Ride pull up to the park, I look at the graphic a little bit, you know, side-eyeing it, standing at the top of the park. They drop, I'm like, it's the best one in the park. They're the same as K2, same manufacturer. And in Cole Navin, supporting really cool street videos. Jed Anderson, the GOAT. They got the GOAT. Capita, first off, you start a snowboarding brand, can't rhyme with snap. Snapita, it was too easy, okay? They're not snapping as much anymore. They changed where they get manufactured, I believe.
To this place called a UFO, where maybe Lobster and the other brand that Lobster's affiliated with, like maybe they're built there.
Capita is the only brand that has come to High Cascade that I have had bad experiences with those involved with the brand. There's one fellow on Capita that literally would refuse to speak to me for years. I would try to talk to him, like, because I was friends with Miles. I was friends with Alex Kirkland, who was on Capita at the time. You know, I love snowboarding, admire snowboarding, and I was friends with all the snowboarders. So I like talked to all the snowboarder guys for every team, and they were all super nice. And when you're skating good at the skate park at Wendell, they don't know if you're a skier or not. So you kind of have that line of an anonymity. That's a bad word. I hate that word. So they don't even know I'm a skier. He just cold shouldered me 2 years in a row. I'd be like, hey, this person's name. And he would like skate away from me with his dog, bro. I couldn't believe it. That kind of bummed me out. But Scotty Stevens, Miles Fallon, Austin Fizz, Benny Milam, they got a great team. They got a great team. Their graphics, they could be better. And Scotty Stevens is the GOAT. I'll stand by Scotty Stevens being one of the nicest, most genuine, hardworking snowboarder, skateboarder, just a love and a passion for the sport that nobody else has. Scotty is that guy, and just because of Scotty, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of Dope and Chill. But this is the only brand that I've had bad experiences with. Horse Snowboard. You know, there's a couple other brands I could have put in here that I'm forgetting, and you can be like, yo, you forgot this brand, and I'll put my opinion about it and pin the comment if I actually know that snowboarding brand. But I wanted to put Pseudo in here, which is a brand that used to be in Michigan, not in Michigan, but they used to make boards with Smooth, the clothing brand, who printed sort of stuff, which, by the way, once again, I'm core as fuck, y'all, back me. Horse Snowboards is similarly affiliated to Smooth. Horse Snowboards, they're in. They're making boards. A little zoom in on this graphic. I'll put some pictures on the screen too. The best graphics, y'all. I think this is good graphics. I think this is good graphic design. If you think Frog Skateboard is a good vibe and a cool, you gotta think Horse Snowboards is too, because I think these look good. I think they're visually interesting, and I think, God, anything to mix it up. Anything like corporate design in snow sports and even skateboarding, it's gotten so boring. Put a truck on the bottom and then put a weed leaf and then put some boobs on it. Put them in strong and jibbable behind Rome. I'm gonna put Rome. I'm actually gonna put Rome in front of Public, because I think Rome's doing more in the Midwest right now than Public is. I'm gonna put Public in front of Information Garage, because I don't know enough about Information Garage. And Horse Snowboards, you know, there's a lot to be proven. I'm sure the boards do not hold up. I'm sure these bitches snap. But that's a part of the horse boards experience, baby. Shout out Sandwich, man. Shout out everybody. Shout out Snowboarding. Hopefully this list is good. Hopefully you agree with me. I think I had a really good take here. If you disagree with me, if you have takes, like, talk about snowboarding in my comments. I don't know how much I can provide as far as input comparatively to skiing, because I don't know as much about these brands. I can't speak for the riding performance of any of these boards rather than what I've been told by my snowboarding friends. And I'm the type of friend to ask, you like that board? What don't you like about that board? If you're a boarder and you think I got this right, say I got this right. But if you think I got something really wrong, tell me I got it wrong. And there might be a couple trolls in here. I might be trolling. You never know. You think these tier lists are serious, bro? It's a tier list on YouTube. Like, literally, I can make the decision in a split second to be like, yeah, a brand that I think is stupid, I'm gonna say is really cool. So like, take everything with a grain of salt. It's not that serious. Snowboarding, skiing. Can we link and build this year? You know, there's some outliers still. There's some country club loser skiers still that are still taking up a good chunk of our space. In Michigan, the harmony between snowboarders and skiers is unprecedented right now. If you're a shit talker snowboarder that still thinks snowboarding is way sicker and skiing is cringe, dude, comment it. I think that shit's hilarious. Like, yo, skiing is whack, bro. Like, I agree. Have you seen my video? Shout out Snowboarding. What else should I shout out? I have a clothing brand. You should go buy those, bro. Like, snowboarders, buy my clothing brand. I think that's it, bro. I think that's it for the damn snowboarding tier list. I'm gonna make a video with Dayton Hamill, the snowboarding gifted hater, which will be a sick little overlap.
Woo! Shout out.
Shout out. Nikki G in the cut. Praise the Lord. Coming in. Hot. Hot rider. Swerving. You look so perfect on your worst day. Come on, what up? Big. Fighter. Big turn. Coming in. Shibba jabba. What they saying? Ain't nothing. Oh, Nikki!